All right, so I'll go ahead and walk through some things here. So let's see. We'll start here on the home page, and across the very top, we have position navigation that actually is injected through the actual back end of the site. So I guess I can get to those areas soon. Search is the same way. It's actually positioned there with a script, as is this get a room little module thing there. So I'll start off, I guess, with the basics. So here we are on the home page, and the main navigation here. This line is editable on the inside of the site. You know, kind of like where you'd see the main navigation. History is the only like HTML page among those that is an actual page. So on all pages, I've used an H1 header, H1 heading, and then just as a default, I just have some dummy text in these content areas. So adding content will obviously be pretty easy going forward. And then the rest of those links on that main nav bar are links to categories of the journal, and this journal or blog called Jacksonville. And I just called it Jacksonville. I don't think anyone would ever find the actual root of the blog, but I guess Google might. But it's basically, instead of calling it businesses, I figured Jacksonville might be a better title for it. But anyway, so what happens there is, I'll just go ahead and open up this journal blog, and what you can actually do is each one of these posts. So this one I've called Greeting Card Museum of History and Store. And with this, you can actually make these larger with these little arrows right here. So if you click that, it'll go full screen, and you can easily edit content that way. A lot easier anyway. I wasn't sure like what components you would want on like each of these pages, but you know, so this was just temporary only anyway. But obviously you could kind of come up with a pattern that you'd do, because you'd have to, I guess, create these for each business. So I figured, well, at least this text area, at least you could copy this, and then you could make a new posting, and then you could kind of change what needs to be changed on each one. And then you could probably go back and add specifics of other things if those even exist, photos, photo galleries, etc. Videos, you know, you can do all those things on each post. So that is pretty simple stuff. Then for this example, I figured, okay, well, this is going to be included in shopping, businesses, and attractions, because I figured, okay, it's a museum, there's an attraction. So what you do is you would click here to add other categories. So right now, if I click art and music, that would be also highlighted there too. And you can kind of scroll through these and kind of see which ones are assigned. If you want to edit these, I have a script right now that is looking at each one of those. So I guess if you wanted to add more, or if you want to edit what those are called, we probably need to do some coding, some editing to that script. So hopefully it's just generic enough now that probably, you know, you can select multiples. Obviously, you know, if it's a winery or something like that, I guess it could be considered a business and a winery. So that's how that works. If I hit cancel right now, I'll show you where the settings are. So since you only have one blog, so the settings for that blog are inside here. Let's see. I don't think you'll need to do too much there, but here's where those categories come into play. So if you select the category, this is where you can add or remove, or kind of do all those kind of things. But again, because these are automatically, I mean, I have a script running in there right now, so it's probably best just to keep things kind of working. And if there's edits on that, just let me know. So if we go ahead and preview, and we could click on like attractions, and in this case we would see there's the post we just saw, and you can click other categories here, which is the same thing as clicking like these categories up here. And as well, you can also search here as well. I mean, you can go ahead and filter by selecting this. So this would also open up businesses. So I have a script right now that that adds this title. So each one of these kind of root pages pulls in this title. And what's kind of nice is that if we're in this, let's say we're inside this post, greeting card museum history and store. Oops. It's not going to pull in that title, which is kind of nice because this one, it applies to 3 different categories. So, what would you call it? I guess at this point, it's pretty good the way it is. So, but what's really nice about this is you could actually, each one of these listings has its own URL. So, each one of these businesses could take advantage of that fact by, sharing that on their own website and hopefully linking to your website and doing those kind of things. So that's kind of nice. Let's just step through then. I guess we went to history already. Homepage, we were on it. Directions. Again, it's just another HTML page. These pages with the single sidebar, the home page has what looks to be a similar sidebar, but this is actually positioned content on the actual home page. So if we go in and edit the home content, the home page is probably the more unique of all pages. The slideshow isn't visible on this this edit view. To edit the slideshow, we'd go back out to the home page, and then we'd click the pencil. It does some weird loading. I'm not sure what's going on there, but you click the pencil, and because all these images are kind of, they're like I don't know what you'd call that, a conglomeration, a compound type image. What I did is I basically, and I could give you the dimensions on this as well. Let me close out of that. Well, reload. Sometimes the scripting kind of likes to take over on this, but should be fine for everyone else. It's just usually the admin that sees this kind of stuff. All right, so each image, we could actually right click and say open image, a new tab. We'll do it that way. So each image that I have here right now is 948 wide by 388 high, and those are 72 DPI, and you'll want to use all those same sizes. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have to do this kind of combo thing if you didn't want to. It was just kind of a nice stylized thing that I put together. So so you want to make sure that your images are probably pre-cropped to that size. Actually, let me make sure, because Squarespace will do resizing. Let me make sure that's the right size. Yeah, 948 by 388. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and I'll just use this as an example. I'm using Adobe Fireworks here. and I'm just going to say temp image. So I'll just treat this like a new image that we're going to export. So I would export this as a JPEG. If it's a full PNG, it would probably the file size would probably be enormous. So it's probably best to use at least something compressed. So I usually say like an 80% JPEG, or good quality would be fine too. Test slide. So I just created a new slide, and let's go back to the pencil icon. And if we double click here, and we say content, then I can go ahead and upload this new image. And this will kind of spin here as it uploads. And there's my new image. So I can go ahead and, I guess I'll drag that to the beginning of the slideshow. And I'll just hit save. Yep, there's my temp image. So I guess the other one comes right into play. There it is. So that's how that works. The background behind the slideshow is actually, I don't know if I can click on it. It's probably so far back there. Anyway, you could see that the images don't have a shadow on them. So that shadow, I have that as a separate layer in CSS. So, but basically, if you just have a crisp edge on your images, then it'll look like there's a shadow, that background shadow there. I'll go ahead and delete that image. And we can talk about the focal point here. I guess when I kind of show you how I set up the galleries area, if you want to see that. So I'll hit save here. And in the pencil, I call it pencil edit. They call it content editing, but it's also content editing when you're inside the page management area. But that also will allow you to access kind of the content that's down inside here. This is just straight HTML in these, but these are positioned as blocks that will that'll also adapt with like a responsive type effect there. It'll adapt to various device widths. So I went ahead and applied that. So let's see, back on the, okay, so we're still on the home page, and we talked about the sidebar content a little bit, but let's kind of zoom in on that here. So slideshows out front, and then the rest of this is all within each page. So this is kind of broken out as, this is a text block, another text block, and then an image that's floated and just kind of resized and nudged around a little bit, and then obviously I have text there. Then the events calendar, if we double click on that, I'll again give you the information to log into that 30 Boxes website. But actually over on 30boxes.com, it's very easy to manage the calendar there. I guess I'm still logged in here. So it's all done live on the calendar here, and then immediately when you click out of that cell, it's automatically updated on the site calendar. But so let's say here on the 16th we want to put a new event. So you just click in, and it says add, and I'll just say I don't know, I'll pick a color, and then just hit enter, or you can, right now it's saying all day, so I guess you can put full information on it, repeating, if it's like some like board type meeting or something like that, you can do all that. It's kind of a lot like Google Calendar, one of those, where it has the same type of features. You can also do private events, but I don't know why you'd ever do that, because it's just going to be visible on the website. So repeating multi-date picker. So it looks like you could, go through and kind of add the year up there anyway. And I'll just say update event. Oh, I haven't picked any dates. I guess it wants me to. There we go. So there we go. On the 16th, we have what we're calling fun event. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel here. And then we can go ahead and preview the site. I guess we're only showing 5 here, so we'll click on through and view the calendar this way then. There's fun event. So this is kind of the view where anyone else out in the world would be clicking on it to view the event this way. So that's what's happening there. And people can scroll through like that. So that's how that works, and this is also kind of responsive to the site width to a degree. I mean, if you're on like an iPhone, I don't know if this calendar is going to be that useful just because it does this, but at least it'll be functional up to a certain point anyway. So let's go back to our home page. Still haven't finished what I've been talking about in here. The HTML that's applied to this block and this block are also applied site-wide, but there's just some tweaks on it to bring it to this home page. And so this is actually an HTML block, another HTML block, and then the appropriate code is inside of each of these. This is like the HTML select, kind of like drop down selector. And so each one of these options are those category URLs. There's the wineries one. So that's how all that works. And then I think each one of these has a title too. Yeah, I put an H2 title, and that's what's making this find a business. And there should be an H2 in here, events calendar. That's how that works. This ad area, I thought this would be kind of a neat way to solve this, I guess, problem, if you want to call it that. So if you had ads that were 297 by 60 is what I kind of just estimated, but it's based on the width of that sidebar. I went ahead and made a gallery. So on the photo gallery, what you can do is upload each ad, and then you can either double click them or click the gear icon, and then I can go ahead and put a URL on each of these. So, and we can say like external and say save, and then so it's basically kind of a neat way to show ads on the site. You could also, instead of having these stacked, you could also do the same thing and do like a slideshow type effect to it, where it would kind of revolve through a series of ads, if you want to do it that way. But if they're stacked like this, then they'll automatically display. So if you can double click each one. You could also put text, and it would go. I'm pretty sure the text would go under it. I don't know if you'd ever want to do that, but I guess you could say, 50% discount, whatever they said. So who knows? I'll just say save. And then if we view this, I don't see where my text is. This one should go to Google. New window, yep. And these others, I think, are just dummy links. So I'm not sure where the text appears on that. I mean, on the second one there. But, so maybe that's just something to look into. I'm not sure about that. So I'll go in there and take that Google back off. But I guess if you had ads to upload at this point, you would just double click those, and then upload new images there, and it should be fine. Save. Let's try this text. Not sure why that's not showing up. Maybe it doesn't do it, but that's it. I bet it's because it's a stacked gallery, and I bet if it were any other thing, I bet it would show up right. So let's do like a slideshow. No thumbnails. Show title and description. So there we go. So there's our ad block. It looks like it'll probably animate to the next one. Oh, maybe I didn't say auto. Yeah, there it is. There's the text. That's the overlay text. But anyway, you can certainly play with these. Oh yeah, I didn't have it on autoplay. And description, I guess that's just going to happen. So I'll put this back to stacked content. All back. Okay. So yeah, if you have a new ad, you could basically just upload the new one, delete these, and be done with that. All right. So that's the home page. And let's see. Other areas. Directions. You could obviously pull a map in. You could add a Google map. You could type out directions. You could do all those kind of things. Geography and weather. Again, you probably add whatever you have. I'm not sure about weather widgets, but I'm sure there's something that you could add. But if you find like a kind of those either Google widgets or weather type things, you could add like a code block, and then kind of position things like that. Contact page. This is right now using the basic form that kind of comes with it. But you can obviously add whatever you want to that form. It's pretty easy to do. Double click it, and then you can add other fields. Section break, for example, and then you can move these exactly where you want them. Pretty easy to do. Section title. I'm just going to say cancel. We just won't save after that. But once you have your form built, then what you can do is you can set up to collect. I think this is set in the. Oh yeah, this is actually set in the actual admin area. You can also set up a MailChimp account if you wanted to start collecting like for a newsletter campaign, and you could also set up a Google Docs account. It looks like this pops up. Kind of cool because you could then make a spreadsheet and kind of connect that. Advanced. Oh, okay. That's the actual submit button, and then after someone sends something through, then you can change that. You could obviously put whatever kind of additional content you want. And I didn't find this out about V6 until only a few months ago, but when I was adding content earlier, I would select text and it would go to the bottom. And if it's a long page, it would be kind of annoying. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dummy text in here really quickly. I don't know why that's not thrown in. Well, I have this mouse effect on right now, and I think it's kind of screwing with things. I'm not sure what's going on with this. Anyway, test text. So there's my text that I just created. You know, we could pull that over to the right. Oops. Column. There we go. You know, you could do an image and things like that. So anyway, if you're going to add a block, you can actually drag it to exactly where you want it directly from that menu, which is great. So it makes kind of working within the page a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and delete that test text. The form won't go full width though, so you may want to kind of balance things out with an image or something over there on the right side. Anyway, chamber info, media gallery, relocation info, events calendar, which we saw, contact page, media gallery. This is kind of the easiest way that I've come up with on V6 to deal with galleries is you can basically make an HTML page. So for each of these demo galleries, I made a, you know, like it's just an HTML page, and then what I've done is I've inserted images. So I'm going to go ahead into this one here and just, let's say we have a local photographer and we're going to feature his work this month or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this, confirm, and then it's automatically saved. And we're down here in this not linked area. Then what we can do is go ahead and open up this media gallery landing page is what I'm calling this. And this is basically what I just added. I'm going to go ahead and remove this just so I can show you kind of how these are coming in. Then let's go back to this page. So it's a basic HTML page, and on the page I have an H1 title and then just some dummy text right now. So then what I will do is I'll add a gallery. So I can drag and drop this, and then it basically wants me to upload images. So I'll just go ahead and grab some images here, and let me get just 3 of these. And this is kind of nice about, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's this focal point that's on each of these thumbnails, and this little white dot, I don't know if you can see it as it loads in, you might be able to see it. There it is. And what you would do is if this is an actual photo, then you would put that focal point on probably someone's face, or you know, I mean, so what's going to happen is the focal point will want to go over the best portion of the photo, and I'll show you why that's kind of an important thing. So I'll go ahead and put it on this image. It's going to be hard to see, but I'll put it in the upper left over top of that little section there. And then this one I'll put down here, right there. So then once we have that, the content, then I can go ahead and say, okay, for my design I want a grid, and I'll say 4 wide. I think that's what I did in the other one, and we can go ahead and choose a light box. So when someone clicks those images, then they'll go up to a, you know, full screen light box, and I'll say save. And then, so we can go ahead and test this gallery out if we hit preview. And there's our images there. You know, they're going to open up in a light box. And so I'll just go back to the edit portion of that. All right, so so the way to get these galleries then onto that original landing page is first we'll want to add a thumbnail image, which I guess I already had it on this page, but what we do is we basically add a thumbnail image, and here's where I'll show you. So if we put this focal point in the upper left of this image right here, I'll show you why that's kind of important. But each page you can set a thumbnail, and then once that is set, then we can go back here to this media gallery page, and we have those two, but we need to add our third. So I'm going to go ahead and add a block, structure, and then collection link is what I'd want to do. And a collection link is any content that you already have on the site, not so much each blog post, but like the blog. I think you could actually use the blog. Yeah, there it is. So you could have a thumbnail on the blog and pull it in there. And so these are really cool because you can make featured kind of areas of the site, but it's great for like a photo gallery type thing like this. So I'll say infographics. That's the one I just created. I'm just going to say save. I don't think there's any options. No, there's not. It's going to pull in. And how this works is it's going to pull in that excerpt image, or that one image that we decided. And I can put this where I want it. But did you notice that when it's in this horizontal view, that upper left where we set that focal point is what's showing right there. So if you wanted this type of design, which, you know, a little weird, but that's why that's showing that one area there, is because we set that as the focal point. It would probably make more sense if it was, you know, if it was someone's house or something, and that's like the front door, and that's really important. Anyway, so let's go back in, and what I've done here is I have a space block. You can add actual space container, but like in this mode, I guess you could do each of these galleries side by side. And then here's that space block here. I'll just say remove, confirm. You can do it that way, or you could stack them up, you know, over to the right side, kind of like that. Just kind of depends on what, you know, what sort of content you're going to be putting in there. But that's just kind of a nice way to automatically link. So each one of these galleries, then I created this gallery, and I don't have to do anything to it besides put it there with that collection link, and it'll automatically link it and, you know, make it visible. So that's how the galleries work. So I guess I won't delete those. I guess I'll just keep them there, and you can kind of look and see kind of how those are configured. But you can make stacks and stacks of those pages. You can actually pull in, you know, we talked about the blog. You could pull the blog in there. Oops, I guess I clicked too fast. Jacksonville. I guess I don't have anything set up on that, but anyway, you could go in here, blog settings, description, text, so say save. If we go to this media gallery, then sometimes it's like a puzzle to get some of this stuff to work. But so there's a blog, there's that description text that I just typed in. If I hit preview on this, then it'll actually show that thumbnail, and you can, when you click through, it's going to go to the root of the Jacksonville blog is what's happening there. And actually, since I'm in here, let me check this out. Oops. This should be one sidebar. One sidebar. And I'm gonna remove this text, and I'm gonna trash that image. There we go. So, let me see if there's anything else. Remove that. I'll just put these back over here. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see if there's any other pages. This, I don't, in this one directory, it says don't delete. It's basically a way, if you need to ever upload like a series of documents, like let's say you have 4 PDFs that you want to make available to someone, but maybe you don't want to have them on an actual visible page. Squarespace is working right now on a new file manager system, and they don't have that in place yet. So really the only way to upload a stack of files would be to do it like this. You basically type some text, and then highlight the text, and then you can go ahead and, let's say we're going to upload a PDF. You could say files, and let's say this is a PDF. So then what happens is it just links to it, and then if you need that URL, which I don't know why it's taking so long. There it is. You could actually preview this page then, and you could, right click, copy that link, or you could actually open up that link, whatever. So that's how you can get a link. It's kind of a weird hack way to do it, but it works. But like I say, there is some sort of file manager system coming in the future. Other back behind the scenes kind of things. Let's see. So that's the media galleries, and you can make directories for all your stuff if you want. I mean, like, that's kind of what I did here, is just to kind of keep things a little more organized. These pages are just kind of they're random. It doesn't really matter what order they're in because they're linked outside on the navigation and things. So let's go in, I guess, the actual code areas then. If we go to code injection, these position search and position book a room is what these are. I have some scripts down here in the footer. Several scripts, lots of things. But here's the book a room. There's the image that I've uploaded, and it automatically pushes it into that one container that's up top with this script. Same thing with the search. That's positioned like that. Header info. So this is actually the navigation on the top left is what this is. And then these are all the page titles that we talked about that are in the Jacksonville Business blog. This is the actual navigation that we see up in that top bar. These two areas. And I think that's about it as far as code injection. Then as far as styling for CSS, you would click the paintbrush, and then you can get access to the CSS, which will pop out an individual window, and that's all in here. I have a local backup of this as well. But basically, if you need to make changes, I guess if you're familiar with CSS, then certainly this is where you'd go to do it. But it's a little difficult in version 6 to make overrides, and that's basically what we're doing is we're changing a template, and we're wanting to do things that we want it to do, so we have to use custom CSS to do that. And some of those some of those fixes and edits are a little tricky to do. So I guess just kind of tread lightly if you're going to make some changes in here. And if you have this custom CSS window open, sometimes you won't see things change when you're in the admin world. So you might have to just like right there how we saw that, this navigation. So I usually hold down Shift and do a refresh. It just has to get kind of smacked sometimes, but it's just because you're the admin and because you're logged in. That's why it's happening like that. And then we talked about responsive design a little bit. So the site right now will adapt. I tried to hit all the high points as far as which browsers, browsers and devices. So, like this would be like kind of like your smartphone size, and then like tablet all the way through to the desktop, laptop size, and the footer also adapts. I have this so it's a lot easier to press these when you're on a mobile device. So hopefully that makes sense. I guess if there's nothing else, search. That's using Squarespace V6 built-in search kind of component. But anyway, I guess just let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully this was helpful, and I will talk to you soon.